Is your child currently reading a book by a fireplace, minding their own manners, doing what they're told, saying their prayers and eating their vitamins? If so, don't watch this video. In fact, make a video and I'll watch it. But if your child's an abject disaster in terms of their behaviors and you don't know what to do, this video is for you. Welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Nate Noble, a behavioral pediatrician and geneticist. And I am making these videos because I've got a super long wait list and I want to give you the opportunity to skip the line by telling you information that people want to know and need to know. Today we're talking about behaviors. In other videos, which I'll link, I've talked about the antecedent, the behavior, and the consequence. In broad strokes, the A, the B, and the C, the things you need to think about when you're approaching behavioral problems in children. Today I want to talk to you about the B, the behavior. If your child makes you crazy, I want you to understand that that is normal. Okay? Listen, you've got cousins, you've got neighbors, you've got relatives, you've got coworkers whose kids are literally reading the book War and Peace by the fireplace right now. It's almost like you can see them have like a little pipe and like a smoking jacket. Children should not smoke. That's not an endorsement for smoking. But it's almost like they have this grown-up affect where they're just like, what's for dinner this evening? And how may I help you clean up the mess, mother and father, now that my homework is done and my Greek has been studied? Listen, if your experience is an abject disaster, it feels like your life and your children and their behaviors feels like a dumpster fire. What I want you to understand is that that is normal. That is typical, and I'm going to give you some strategies on how best to deal with it. People who don't have children who have those types of problems, it's not a criticism to them, but what you have to understand is that your coworkers, your family members, your friends, your neighbors who have kids that read War and Peace by the fireplace, they don't do that because their parents are so fantastic. They do that because that's just the way that kid is, okay? Listen, I'm not being critical. I'm not being critical, but there's two kinds of kids in this world, okay? There's several metaphors for this, but this is the one that comes to mind right now. There's two kinds of kids in the world. There's the kind of kids who work at companies, and they're the kind of kids who start companies. They're the kind of kids who say, oh, the sign says don't walk on the grass. And then there's the kids who say, it's grass. What do I care? What, are you going to throw me in jail? If you've got a kid with a behavioral problem, you probably have the second kind. The kid who starts the company, right? The kid, the visionary, the big picture person, the kid who has a character who's just difficult to shepherd. Hold on, hold tight, it's not you, okay? Or it's mostly not you. These kids are going to be difficult to raise no matter which family they are raised in. Listen, behavioral problems are common and I can fill in the gaps. If you come to my clinic and you have a behavioral problem, let me guess. I'm going to close my eyes. Let me guess. They hit, they kick, they bite, they spit, they bang, they throw, they wipe, they lick, they roll, they refuse, they scowl, they critique, you don't have to listen. My point is, for me to help you with your child's behavior, I don't need to know a ton about the behavior itself. I've got 4 kids of my own. I've seen hitting, kicking, banging, spitting, rolling. If you show me a video of a child's behavior, the first thing I want you to understand is it's not the child's behavior that I'm most interested in, aside from 2 things, which we're going to talk about in a minute. What I'm most interested in when you show me the behavior problem in a child is not the behavior of the child. It's the behavior of you. What are you doing? What are you saying? What kind of threats are you making? What's your tone? What's your posture? What's your body position? How far away from the problem are you? If you show me a video of a child's behavior, really what I want to see is what you're doing in response to it. I'm not being critical to you, but you have to understand, as parents, your children don't wake up every day and say, what I got on the list today? Let me look through my Rolodex calendar. I'm going to go through my schedule for today, and I'm going to figure out, first I'm going to refuse breakfast, and then I'm going to critique my family because of the unconditional love they provide me. And then I'm going to refuse to get dressed. And then to top it off, before I get into the minivan full of graham cracker crumbs, I am going to throw a fit because I don't want to wear boots in winter in Iowa. Children don't get up. That's not the economy in which they operate. They don't get up and decide how to make you so mad, right? Anger to a behavior is not the child's problem. Anger towards a behavior is a response, and it's your problem. So many times behaviors persist because they are reinforced, right? Kids get things for their trouble, and we're going to talk about this in the next set of videos once I talk to you a little bit more about functions of behavior. Once we know the function of the behavior, the why of a behavior, then we can understand how it is that we might be reinforcing it. But what I want you to understand in this video is that it's possible if you get a child who continues to contribute or continues to participate in terrible, mind-numbing, soul-sucking behaviors, it might be in part because the behaviors reinforce they're getting something for their trouble, extra attention, an iPad. They just get the fact that you're overwhelmed. That's a win for them, right? They're getting something for their trouble. And so as we go through this process together, I want you to ask yourself, what is my child getting in return for these behaviors? Now back to the behavior of your children. Remember, I said I don't really care exactly what they do. I mean, it helps a little bit, but for most situations, what I want to know in the clinic is not what they do. I want to know the frequency of the behavior, and I want to know the duration of the behavior. Let's start with frequency. Now listen, kids blow. 2-year-olds blow more than 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds blow more than 8-year-olds, and 14-year-olds blow more than anybody. Okay? If you have children in adolescence, you know what I mean. I wish I could give you a hug if you've got adolescents, because I got too many of them. I got too many of them. And I love them, but whoa. So understanding that children are bound to blow for various reasons, just because they blow doesn't mean it's bad or wrong, okay? But sometimes the frequency tells me something. Kids blow multiple times a day when they're young, but when they get older, they blow less. Kids that are blowing hourly on the hour, the likelihood it's just straight behavior, the likelihood it's just straight up behavior. I don't transition. I don't take no for an answer. I can't handle bright lights or loud sounds or textures or clothes or unmet expectations. Those kids probably have a different set of problems. The frequency, if it's hourly or every 30 minutes they're blowing about something, the likelihood you're missing something big, something major, something organic, or a neurodevelopmental disorder is higher. So if you've got a kid who blows that often, I want to encourage you to get on a wait list like mine. See a developmental pediatrician, talk to your regular pediatrician, talk to your doctor, because there's probably something else. Constipation, vision problems, hearing problems, obstructive sleep apnea. There's a bunch of different things you have to be thinking about that are organic and medically based, and you need to go through it. That's not a normal frequency for a kid who's over 3 or 4 years of age. That's not a normal frequency. Now let's talk about duration. Now duration, kids blow. But when you blow, right, it's like DEFCON 5, right? When kids blow, it's like DEFCON 5. They don't bottle it up like we do at work and use passive-aggressive maneuvers and write emails like, in my last email, I said. They don't do that, okay? We go to DEFCON 1 or 2. They go to DEFCON 5. And it's like getting on a treadmill and putting it like, the thing that goes, it's just one of those deals, and running at like 8 or 9 miles per hour, which some of you are like, that's no problem, Noble. You want to do it to this guy? You'll shoot me across the gym. Like I will fall and skid across the gym floor like a fool, okay? Going to DEFCON 5 is hard. These kids it's exhausting. Any kid who can go to that level of anger and irritability and can stay there for 20, 30, 40 minutes, the likelihood that there's an additional assessment necessary is high. Now, if kids blow, right, but they blow for 5 minutes, it's like a bottle rocket, it goes up, explodes, and it's done. Well, that's a different set of problems. So in summary, what I want you to understand about behaviors is that A, the behavior itself doesn't work. What I care most doesn't matter as much. What I care most about is your response to the behavior, and we're going to get into what the correct responses are in the next set of videos when we talk about function. If you're worried that you could be missing something in your child, if the frequency is what appears from your perspective to be developmentally atypical. So you got kids that are blowing every 30 minutes, every hour, and they're going to DEFCON 5 every time they do it. It's probably not just, well, I'm not responding correctly, or maybe he's just really irritable, or he's got a delicate temperament. It's probably something more than that. There's some anxiety, there's concerns for an autism spectrum disorder, there's an intellectual disability, where maybe we're not tailoring our expectations to their cognitive skill set. There's something else that needs to happen. More thought needs to be put into this. In our next set of videos, we're going to explore these things further, equipping you with ways to deal more effectively with your child's behavior based on the function. In the very next video, we're going to talk about consequences. All right? We're going to talk about what do people do when they deal with behaviors. And that's going to be a quick video because you can guess what consequences are. But if you have no idea what possible consequences should be, watch the next video. I'm going to try and put out content every Tuesday and Thursday this year, trying to build our online following. We're also building out a website, drnatenoble.com. Keep visiting that website because as time goes on, there'll be more content available for you with downloads and more ways that you can access the expertise that we provide. Thank you for watching this video. You're a better parent than you think. Have a good day.